there is a little bit of drama happening between Ebony magazine and the Tea Party. Now, Ebony magazine wouldn't be the type of magazine that the Tea Party would read anyway, but the Tea Party was particularly upset because they featured Trayvon Martin-inspired covers in the month of September. Ebony had 4 different covers, and each one had different celebrities posing in hoodies, and of course they did this to honor Trayvon Martin, and it was their way of kind of protesting against the George Zimmerman verdict. Of course, he was acquitted of manslaughter charges. Now, Ebony magazine doesn't seem too concerned about losing the Tea Party's readership because that readership never existed. In fact, they tweeted the following: "We have so many Tea Party readers and followers, to lose all 0 of them due to our September cover would be devastating."
That's one of the best tweets I've ever seen. Well done, well done. Mm-hmm. So now they had people like Spike Lee and others on with their sons. With
Dwyane Wade.
Yeah, and the sons had the hoodies on, mm-hmm. right? So I think it was super interesting, and I think it made an interesting point, and I think that it looked good, and I'm amused at the Tea Party, which was supposed to be about the bank bailouts, although it never was, right? Remember, that's why they got started, but they never protested the banks, never protested the Treasury Department that gave them the bailouts, never protested the Republicans or the Democrats who signed on to the bailouts, but that's what the Tea Party's about. Went on to do all sorts of political fights against President Obama, sponsored by giant health insurance companies and oil companies, etc. But what in the world do they have to do with the Ebony cover and Trayvon Martin? I thought you guys didn't care about race. What happened?
I know, it's kind of amazing because I honestly don't pay attention to what goes on in magazines that I don't read because I don't care. Ain't nobody got time for that, right? Let's keep it real.
Ironic.
Right? And so it's kind of amazing that the Tea Party took it upon themselves to boycott this magazine that they don't even read in the first place. I mean, it's literally the equivalent of an avid Fox News viewer saying that they're going to boycott the Young Turks. Have at it. Have fun.
And by the way, I mean, the covers are, how do you get offended by the cover? They're basically saying, we are Trayvon. But Trayvon was murdered, or okay, let's say he got killed. You don't agree that he was murdered, and that they were in a fight, but so they feel bad for Trayvon.
It's amazing.
It's amazing that
people went out of their way to demonize someone who was 17 years old and who cannot defend himself. He's dead. He's gone. Even if you don't believe that George Zimmerman should have been found guilty of manslaughter, even if you agreed with the verdict, why are you going out of your way to add insult to injury?
And so I guess what they're saying is, not only was Zimmerman not guilty, but Trayvon was guilty. He's the one that attacked poor George Zimmerman and got himself shot in the chest. And I think they really believe that. I mean, I've seen people online when we do the videos, etc. I mean, they're like, oh, this Trayvon thug came and attacked poor George Zimmerman out of nowhere. Out of nowhere, how could you possibly believe that? But they do. So the point that if you say, oh, poor Trayvon Martin, who was killed as a 17-year-old, that's it, I'm protesting you, right? And the reality is, of course, they've actually added subscribers to Ebony. You know why? I know that for a fact. Because J.R. Jackson, after seeing this story, literally subscribed, got a year subscription to Ebony just to counter-protest the Tea Party. The number of Tea Party protesters that were already subscribing to Ebony is beyond less than 0. I mean, they're kidding around, but they're not kidding. I can't imagine a George Zimmerman fan, Tea Party guy, who was subscribing to Ebony. And then finally, the Tea Party's like, I can't believe that they say we're about race and that we're racist and that we're against black people. Where in the world would they get that idea? Just because you think George Zimmerman should have been acquitted doesn't make you a racist. But you go out of your way to protest Ebony just for saying we are Trayvon, you got some racial issues, dude.